David's family here today. We are preaching today about the Good Shepherd. Right? All right. Good, good. You already got some buy-in there. But what I want to ask, what I want to ask today is, because that can be kind of a cliche, the Good Shepherd. All right. What does that mean? And that's the question for today. What does that mean? What does it mean to be the Good Shepherd? And what we're doing as a church is we want to eventually raise up elders. We're starting more of a shepherding ministry. And we're asking this question, what does it really mean to be shepherding? Because it's not about a title, we're going to appoint you this, or we got this church plan for this. Shepherding, it is really about the heart. And in our church, we have discipling relationships, and we focus on disciples. And Jesus in the Great Commission says, "Go make disciples," right? But the word, discipling, that form of the word, or discipler, that's not used. What they really use is the word shepherding a lot. Yeah. So what is shepherding? Because discipleship is important. The Great Commission's go make disciples, baptize them, teach them to obey everything, right? But it's not like that. It's like, go make disciples, baptize them, and then teach them to obey everything. And I think that the heart really is not about changing our language, we use the word shepherd or discipling, but about what the biblical idea is behind shepherding. And when you look at that, and when you look how did God disciple people, starting with Adam, he walks with them in the garden. He calls Abraham his friend. Moses is shaped by conversations, what, almost face-to-face conversations with God. And then people, Elijah and Elisha, I don't know how to say them differently, but they walk together. That's a strong discipling relationship. And Jesus calls his disciples by name. Shepherding in the Bible, it's face-to-face. It's life to life. It's way of walking with people. But more importantly, it's allowing God to use people and allowing God to, first of all, walk with us. And that's why David, being a shepherd, could say, "The Lord is my shepherd. I lack nothing." It's powerful, powerful. David, before he shepherded anybody else, he learned what it meant to be led. And that brings us to what we're going to talk about today, which is shepherding or discipling you really can't do that until you learn how to be shepherded or discipled yourself. First by God, and then by others, and that's how you learn shepherding, one-on-one. Jesus didn't say, break out your discipling handbooks and a page number, except maybe the Old Testament. It's like he walked with them and he showed them. And Jesus identifies himself plainly, I am the good shepherd. So what's the good shepherd? Jesus says, I'm the good shepherd. I know my sheep, and my sheep know me. He calls his own sheep by name, and he leads them out. I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd lays down his life for the sheep. So Jesus wasn't just a teacher. He lived it. So, yes, we know Jesus, and we got the images of Jesus shepherding the sheep and stuff like that, but he's really a long line of shepherding, really a story of shepherding that Jesus steps into and fulfills. He fulfills God's plan of shepherding by living it out through his life. So what this morning we're going to do is we're going to walk through 3 stories of shepherding. The first one is Boaz and Ruth. and how they shepherded one another. And then we're going to go and see, the second point is going to be looking at David, who is, obviously an incredible shepherd. And then the third point, we're going to do Jesus, the good shepherd. And as you might know, if you've been coming, our theme for the year is light. And the sub-themes are receiving the light, being refined by the light, and reflecting. And as I've been looking at this sermon, this song's been stuck in my head that I just can't get out, okay? So I don't know if that's mental illness or if that's, the Spirit talking to me. But I even heard Marcelo humming it today. He's like, man, I can't get that tune out of my head. And then I got a guitar for my birthday. So I figure might as well use it, okay? So at the end of the service, we're going to sing a song together like we did the last time I preached. I promise you this is not going to be a regular thing, all right? You can rest assured. But here's the chorus. You are the sun, I am the moon, right? Reflecting the light, boom. You're the sun, I am the moon. You are the words, I am the tune. Play me. It's about letting God be the light, and we just reflect it. It's letting God be the word, have the word. We all play by different. We're all different drummers, right? Even in the Bible, we know David's words. We don't know what the tunes were for the Psalms. And then use me, shape me, do something with me. So what we're going to do, the first point, like I said, is we're going to talk about Boaz and Ruth. And this is a relationship that a lot of times Ruth kind of gets the lion's share. Well, the book is named Ruth. It's not named Boaz, right? So, and she's got an incredible faith and incredible loyalty. But I think I relate a little more to the old man, all right, with Boaz and some of the things that he needed. And I really want to talk about their relationship with one another and how God worked with them. So, personally, I want us all to reflect a little bit on how God has shepherded you through your life before you even knew it. When I was a kid, I grew up in the country, a split family. My family jokes that I was raised by wolves because they don't know who else raised me. But I just felt like God was there. We didn't go to church, or we weren't religious at all. But I didn't feel alone. I didn't feel lost. I felt like I don't know where I'm going, but I felt like I had this invisible friend. And now I look back, and I feel like I had a good shepherd. And then when I got older, God used other people to help me. One of my first friends was, well, here's the title of the lesson, The Good Shepherd. Oh, yeah, I forgot to go here. So what we're going to do is we're going to learn to shepherd by first being shepherded ourselves. And what God can use is relationships. He uses people to show us how to help one another. And one of my first friends growing up was Matt. That's my fourth grade class. And then I zeroed in on me and Matt. And those hairstyles are coming back. And, I think, what did Matt give me at that time? It wasn't, he didn't know what he was doing either. But we were there with each other. And in school, in that age, could be brutal. And it was just good to have somebody else to walk with. And, it's just a friendship that we've just maintained over 55, 60 years. That's us in the spring. A friend that God gave me in college was Jerry. Okay, Jerry and I were not righteous or spiritual, as you might be able to guess from that picture. But he was a deep thinker. Like we talked about spiritual things, like what's really going on in life, and it helped to have someone. He walked with me through some of the hard times of college and young adult, and I'm just grateful that we're able to stay together as friends now. And then as look back, God uses friendship. God uses relationships. So what I want to go here now is to Ruth and Boaz. And in this story, Ruth is vulnerable. She's a widow. She's a foreigner. She's safe. She's in it's hard times. And Boaz, he notices her. He protects her and he gives her a space. He gives her space, but he also keeps her close. And we want to see the way that God works through people in this. And a lot of times the word for Boaz and Ruth is the word kindness, but the Hebrew word for it is chesed, which is, I can't really read it. It says steadfast love, loving kindness, covenant loyalty. He uses the word chesed. So when Naomi, which was Ruth's mother-in-law, although her husband had died, she blesses Ruth. She says, "May the Lord deal kindly with you as you have dealt with the dead and with me." And here, kindly is the word chesed. When Naomi says of Boaz, she says he has not stopped showing his kindness to the living and dead. That word kindness, again, is the word chesed. Steadfast love, loving, loyalty, covenant loyalty. We use the word kind, which means, and I think in English, kind just means you're not being rude. Yeah, he was kind. But the Hebrew word is chesed. And then the story starts to turn, and times are different. But in Ruth 3:7, it says that Ruth approached quietly, uncovered his feet, and lay down. She's trying to offer herself to him, not in even romantically, just as in a relationship kind of way. So Boaz wakes up, and Ruth 3:8, there was a woman lying at his feet. So Boaz, he's older, and he's got money, but what he doesn't have is anybody else. He's alone. He has no heir. His future's uncertain. And Ruth chooses him, and then he chooses her. He says, "This kindness is greater than that which you showed earlier." And that word, again, is kindness, is chesed. Something important, it happens here between the two of them, where Boaz seems like the one who's shepherding the most because he's providing grain for her, but she's giving something back to him that he needs, which is even more important than grain. That's relationship and that covenant loyalty. And this isn't just people. God is pleased by this. When Jesus was asked what the greatest commandment was, Jesus said to love God, but the second one is to love each other. He doesn't say just the second one. He goes, the second one is like it. And all the other laws hang on these two things. These relationships please God. The Lord delights in steadfast love, Micah 6:8. And again, that steadfast love is the same word of all the other green ones, chesed. God loves love. So when we sing this song, and the song is going to be, like I said, Play Me by Neil Diamond, the first verse is this one here. And it says, one day woke up to find her lying there, and I said, all right, because I was lonely, and I needed someone. The reflection question for today is, where has God taken care of me through other people? Think back in your life. And maybe they're not spiritual people. But God gave you someone to take care of you through all these different times. All right. So the first point was, Boaz and Ruth, we learn to shepherd by being shepherded. We learn to take care of others by how we're taken care of. The second point is David. David was being shepherded by God so he could shepherd. Yeah, he's the shepherd of sheep, but God shepherds him. David spends long times out in the fields, shepherding his sheep, and in that time, God moves to him. When the prophet Samuel was sent to Jesse's house to anoint the next king, he didn't know who it was going to be, but he knew it was going to be one of Jesse's sons, but none of them are chosen. He says here, 1 Samuel 16, are these all the sons you have? They're still the youngest, Jesse said, but he's tending the sheep. Samuel said, send for him. We will not sit down until he arrives. God was working through him during that time, choosing him while he was out there all alone. But in everything he did, he had great success because the Lord was with David. David wasn't just out there on his phone while the sheep are doing whatever they want. God was training him to have a heart for him, but also training him to lead a country. When Goliath comes, when danger comes to the Israelite nation, no one would challenge the Goliath. David's like, I got this. I'm trained for this. When the lion came, smacked it upside the head. When the bear came, took it down. Do the same thing. Do the same thing without. I am fully qualified. He was still young. But God had shepherded him. That's why he could say, the Lord's my shepherd. I lack nothing. But God didn't choose David just because he knew he could take out a bear or a lion or Goliath. The Lord sought out a man after his own heart. God chose the relationship before he gave David the role. Before he gave him a title, he said, I want to walk with you. God gave David his words. He wrote so many of the Psalms. But like I said before, we don't know the music, we just know the words. And the second verse to this song by Neil Diamond, and I know it's weird to sing a song by Neil Diamond at church, all right, if you grew up in the 70s, but I love the way the verse talks about how God sang him songs. He brought him songs. He gave him the words, and the words, they rang in him. And because of that, rhymes sprang from him. And then what was right became him. And that's why God could trust him later with more than sheep, but with the country. And it says here in Psalm 78, he chose David his servant and took him from the sheep pens. From tending the sheep, he brought him to be the shepherd of his people Jacob, of Israel, his inheritance. Did David shepherd? And David shepherded them with integrity of heart. With skillful hands he led them. David was not perfect by any means. But what God was looking for was the heart. And so I want us to see the pattern. God shepherds David. And he gave David the role of shepherding sheep because he learned a lot from those sheep. Let's face it, how does a shepherd make his living? From the sheep. They're providing something too, right? It's a relationship that they have. And then God has that relationship with David. And then David can do that with other people and shepherd other people. And God's pleased by the whole thing coming together. And that's what I want us to see, the relationships. We just don't have disciple. Who's my discipler? It's our relationships with one another. As we walk with one another and as we love one another, And that, I don't know how, I don't know why God's pleased with that, of all the things in the universe. But maybe if all the things in the universe, what's most important is relationship. So I just want to go back in time, share some stories of people that have helped me. This is Doug, my best man. That's our wedding day right there. He's the guy who reached out to me, and I could not figure out why this guy actually wanted to have a relationship with me, right? Because I'm skeptical. I'm from New York, Boston. What are you talking to me? But he just gave himself, and he was loyal, and I'm just so grateful for all the years that we had together. And David's here. This is us in 2013 hiking Clouds Rest in a lightning storm. And then I got Steve Stevenson up in the corner. These are the guys that have walked with me. Not one better than the other. Good times, bad times. Hopefully we take turns with that. But we need each other. And I think God is pleased by these relationships because there's chesed there. And then, of course, the most important is marriage. That's us when we were in high school. No, we were engaged in that picture there. And I think marriage is a shepherding relationship. You want that chesed there, right? This is last weekend. So submit to one another out of reverence for Christ. God is pleased when we take care of each other. God's given the man the position, the responsibility of leadership, but he wants him to lead with the heart of David. And just like David needs the sheep, I need my wife, all right? And she gives back so much to me. And what's required to have that work is this heart, where from 1 Samuel 3, speak, Lord, for your servant is listening. And that's so hard to do. It's so hard to listen to God because there's so much going on. There's so much noise. But this is the heart that God wants. And here's the reflection question for the second point. Where might be God shepherding me right now before asking me to shepherd anyone else? Where is God saying, you know what, I want you to work on this, and then I want you to help other people with that? And that brings us to Jesus. The good shepherd on the narrow, thorny road. Right before the lesson, I just realized there's actually lineage here in Matthew 1 where David and Boaz are in the lineage of Jesus. These guys, they're not just random people in the Bible. They are connected. With Jesus, it all comes together. You see the relationships of Boaz and Ruth. You see the heart of David. And then you see him make it fully revealed. It's not God going, oh, I'm shepherding you. It's personal. Like, I am with you. Like right here on this path, walking. That's Jesus. That's why Jesus could plainly say, I am the good shepherd. So I was at Majesty Bookstore, which is amazingly, there's still a Christian bookstore in Fresno. And they had all these paintings. And I just loved this one, the little sheep like, oh no. And then there's Jesus behind going, I found the lost one. You know, and he's running to grab it. The sheep doesn't know it. But there he is. And that's the way Jesus is with us. It says the thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy. I've come that they may have life and have it to the full. He's a shepherd. He's a leader. He's not using his position. He's not using fear. He's like, I'm here to protect you. It says his sheep follow him because they know his voice. There were a bunch of paintings there I took pictures of. They're not very good pictures, but they're the ones I have. I just love this. The sheep follow his voice because they know his voice. It's like just sheep walking with Jesus. It's relationship. It's not control. He says, I am the gate for the sheep. And that's a big deal. That's the way you come and go. You enter and leave. That's the way everything works, the way that God provides for us. But he goes even farther. He says, I lay down my life for the sheep. He puts his body in front of the wolves, of the world, of sin at the cross. That's the Good Shepherd. Small is the gate and narrow the road that leads to life, and only a few find it. The road that leads to life is not popular or comfortable, but it's love-giving. It's life-giving. Jesus is the Good Shepherd, the one, like he's walking ahead. And it's dark on both sides, but he leads us faithfully down a narrow road. And when he talks about the word being spread along the path, he goes, some falls, there's thorns. The seed falling among the thorns refers to someone who hears the word, but the worries of this life and the deceitfulness of wealth choke the word. The road is narrow and there's thorns. And it's not easy. And that's why the third and final verse of the song connects with me. He says, and so it was that I came to travel along the road that was thorned and narrow to another place. And really, it's grace that would save me. Yesterday, like David said, we were out talking, and David's sharing some of the challenges that he's got coming on in his life, and he's like at the same age that when I had my son, and I was like, when I was your age, I lost my job in the ministry. My wife and I were unemployed. There was massive division in the church, and I was about to lose my house in the housing crash. So you're doing all right. Because he was like, man, God's really blessed you, and I really feel that. And I'm like, well, yeah, but when I was those are thorns. I was getting, I was getting PTSD therapy, it was thorny. But God was there shepherding me through it. He didn't take away the thorns. He guided me through them. He didn't make the road wider. The road's still narrow after 35 years of this stuff, but he's guided me through it. So who might be God inviting me to walk with on this road so I'm not trying to follow Jesus alone? Who's God put in your life? Your spouse, a friend, a discipler, a shepherder, someone in the ministry, someone in another church? Maybe you're new to the church and you're like, I don't know, somebody told me to come to church, I'm here. Maybe that God's put that person in your life so that you're not alone when you're trying not to follow them, but to follow Jesus. So, the Good Shepherd. Learning the shepherd by first learning how to be shepherd. Boaz and Ruth took care of each other. David, before he led anyone else, he learned to listen to God, let God lead him, let those words shape him. And Jesus answers the question, who is the Good Shepherd? He says, I'm the Good Shepherd. I've come here for relationship. I've come here for heart, love. I've come here to walk with you. I've come here to be with you. And so the question is then, are we listening? And that goes at reflection. Are you listening to what he's saying? Amen? All right. You guys ready for this? All right. You know what? I need someone to click through the clicker. CJ, if you click a clicker. Oh, you can do it, Josh. You're here. Thanks. Just as we go through the verses, all right? Thanks, guys, for helping out with this. Got to get the band involved. The band covers over a multitude of sins. All right. So, we're going to start off with the chorus. We'll do the chorus twice, and then I'll do the verses. You're more than welcome to share the verses if you want, but don't worry about it. We'll sing the choruses together. It goes, "You are the sun, I am the moon. You are the words, I am the tune. Play me." And then we'll do the chorus twice. You are the sun, I am the moon. You are the words, I am the tune. Play me. She was morning and I was nighttime. I one day woke up to find her lying beside my bed. I softly said, "Come take me." For I was lonely, in need of someone, as though I'd done someone wrong somewhere, but I don't know where. I don't know where. Come lately. Here comes the chorus. You are the sun, I am the moon. You are the words, I am the tune. Play me. You are the sun, I am the moon. You are the words, I am the tune. Play me. Songs you sang to me, songs you bring to me, words that rang in me, rhymes that sprang from me, warmed the night, and what was right became me. You are the sun, I am the moon. You are the words, I am the tune. Play me. One more. You are the sun, I am the moon. You are the words, I am the tune. Play me. Last verse. And so it was that I came to travel upon a road that was thorned and narrow. Another place, another grace would save me. You are the sun, I am the moon. You are the words, I am the tune. Play me. You are the sun, I am the moon. You are the words, I am the tune. Play me. Thank you very much, you guys. Have a great Super Bowl.